China, Trump, and tariffs. I'm putting this video out there because I want to see other small engine builders decide to actually come forward to the table and talk about this and what their opinion is. Because I can't be the only one that's getting imploded with questions on my opinion. So I want to see what theirs is. So let's put this on the table. At the end of the day, China is what's driving the small engine market. It doesn't matter whether it's Briggs, it doesn't matter whether it's Kohler, it doesn't matter whether it's Duramax, it doesn't matter whether it's Ducar, whether it's Rado, whether it's Lonkin, whether it's Kawasaki, whether it's Honda, whether it's any of them. At the end of the day, right now, the repair market and the aftermarket is driven by China. The real sad part is, what's happened over the course of the last 5 years is that the stuff that used to be worth buying because it was made in America has now become questionable as to whether it actually is made in America. And that is what has killed the small engine market, is that the trust is gone. The shadow games have killed all the trust in the whole situation. This is why when I worked with Duramax in order to build these into mini bike engines and stuff like that, that I came forward and made a direct video about the fact that this was based on a Ducar 212. That it's a Duramax, it is a higher end Ducar 212. But at the end of the day, it's made in another country. It's not made in the United States. Is it a good quality version of it? Is it something I would pay the $180 on? Hell yes, without question. That's the reason why I work with the company. But Max Speed Rods sent me a clone of this. A blunt, blatant, they didn't even bother trying to hide it, clone. Built Hard sent me a clone of this, not even bothering to try and hide it. A blunt clone based off of Ducar 212s, but made as cheap as possible in order to cut the corners down through, in order to be able to undercut companies like Duramax. And we have that in the entire small engine community right now. Everything is, how cheap can I build it? How much can I undercut the competition? And can I talk people into buying it? This is why, over the last 10 years, I have bluntly stated in so many of my videos that it is not a matter of whether you are buying Chinesium. It is a matter of whether you are buying high-quality Chinesium versus low-quality Chinesium. That's why I work with Hippoc Carburetor. Hippoc Carburetor came onto the market without even hiding at all the fact that it's a Chinese company that is marketed to Americans to look American. They didn't even hide it at all. They even have Made in China at the top of a lot of their logo stuff and things like that. But they came in intending to be the best quality they could coming from China. And a lot of other brands ended up following that concept. Labwork, for example. I have sold and worked with Labwork on many campaigns and engine rebuilds because they openly admit that they buy all of their parts from other regions of the world and then sell them in America. Now, the big thing that I've noticed over the course of the last few years, which is the reason why I have this engine sitting here, is the racing world. The racing world either admits that it's Chinesium. This is why I work with NR Racing. NR Racing, if it is a Chinesium product, openly states Chinese, clone, or something like that. On the other hand, we have several other companies that, instead of saying clone, instead of saying Chinese, they'll say alternative, retailed in America, import and resale in America. That is the thing. It has become a cloak and dagger of attempting to hide that it's Chinesium versus openly admit that it's Chinesium. Even in big retail at this point, Briggs & Stratton and Kohler and all of the other big names, Honda is a prime example. Honda openly at one point admitted that the only engines that are made in the United States are to be able to get the credit for being made in the United States, to be able to credit that against the Air Fuel Pollution Act to maintain being able to sell those engines. And they're not the only one. Basically, that's every major engine manufacturer. Is the only reason that they assemble it, not necessarily make, assemble it in the United States, is to be able to bypass and get credit towards that situation. There's nothing made in America for small engine stuff at this point other than a very, very, very select amount of aftermarket. And even some of that's a tad bit on the questionable side as to how much of it's actually made in America. Now, that being said, do I think the tariff is going to kill small engine repair? Do I think it's going to kill the aftermarket and things like that? I think it's going to jack the prices a good solid 10 to 20% on a lot of stuff. Do I think it's going to kill it? No. But I do think that repair is going to become far more selective over the course of the next 2 years. That is my projection for 2 years out. And I myself have already started phasing out certain engines that I have found that the Chinesium following for has just plain gone to shit, for lack of a better way to say it. For example, I just plain don't rebuild Briggs & Stratton twin-cylinder engines because the Oregon stuff that used to support it has frankly gone downhill, and all of the Chinesium stuff that used to support it has just become utter total garbage. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that. I think what we're going to see over the course of the next 2 years is we're going to see selective repairs. I think we're going to see a lot of engines that were very popular out of like the 90s and stuff like that, that pretty much the sad part is the Chinesium parts market was the only thing maintaining their viability at this point. I think we're going to end up seeing that we have to phase those out, and it's going to force us into working on only engines after a certain time period. I don't know. That's my current take on it right now, is that I'm going to be evaluating the quality of the Chinesium parts that we can still end up with for certain things, and then go from there. But as far as make small engines great again and everything else, I'm sorry, but unless somebody starts making PWK carbs here in America and starts making, exhaust here in America, starts making valve covers cheaper here in America, starts making pull covers cheaper in America, it's going to be a Chinesium market, no matter what the tariff ends up being. All right, guys. I hate politics, but throw me a comment down below. What do you think? Do you think it's a nail in the coffin? Or do you think it's a 2-year dry spell like I think it's going to be? Comment down below. Have a good day, guys.